He wasn't the tallest. He wasn't the fastest. Not even the most technical. But he was the only heavyweight world champion to retire undefeated. 49 fights, 49 wins, 43 knockouts, 0 losses. What made him different? A training regimen so relentless, so brutal, that today it would be considered inhumane. This isn't just a boxing story. It's a story of war. Rocky Marciano wasn't born with supernatural talent. He was born Rocco Marciano, the son of Italian immigrants, in a working-class neighborhood in Massachusetts. His father barely earned a few dollars breaking his back in a shoe factory. Rocky dropped out of school to help at home. His first workouts were the toughest physical jobs, lifting, hauling, pushing, under the blazing sun. After that, taking a punch didn't seem so bad. He started boxing late, at 23. He was clumsy, short, bald, with hunched shoulders and 2 left feet. But he had something you can't teach. He had fire. After an amateur fight where he couldn't last 5 rounds without gasping for air, he made a promise. I will never feel like this again. And from that day on, he trained like his life depended on it. Because to him it did. Every day began at 5 a.m. By 5:30, he was running 10 miles in military boots with added weight, even through snowstorms, 7 days a week. His motto was simple. A champion can't afford a day off because somewhere in the world someone is training to beat you. After his run, he'd have a hearty breakfast. Then he'd hit the heavy bag for an hour, non-stop. But not just any bag. Normal bags would tear from his punches. So he had one custom-made, over 150 kilograms. He wanted real resistance. He wanted the bag to hit back. And that still wasn't enough. He tied his feet together with a rope while punching, forcing himself to maintain perfect balance. If he stumbled or broke form, he'd start over, again and again, until he moved like a machine. At noon came sparring. Not 5 rounds, 100. Yes, 100 rounds in a single day, with 13 different sparring partners, one after another, no breaks. When asked how he endured it, he said, "The punches I take here are harder than in the ring. When the real fight comes, it'll feel easy." And after sparring came the most savage part, underwater training. He'd step into a pool with water up to his shoulders and throw punches for 45 straight minutes, shadowboxing underwater, punching against liquid resistance, like fighting inside a hurricane. Each blow was torture, every combo, fire in the shoulders. But he never stopped, because while others trained for round 1, Marciano trained to keep punching after everyone else had mentally died in the 10th. One of his most brutal exercises was called bite the towel. Rocky would bite down on a rolled towel while his trainer hit him with real body shots. No gloves, no holding back. The goal, no flinching, no reaction. The one who shows pain is already half beaten, he'd say, and he would never yield, ever. He also did sit-ups while his trainer dropped a heavy medicine ball onto his stomach, over and over hundreds of times a day, not to get a six-pack, but to learn how to breathe when you can't breathe, to keep going when the body wants to quit, to fight when there's nothing left in the tank. And if something broke, he kept training. He once fought over 20 rounds with a broken hand. Another time he kept running with a twisted ankle. Pain fades. Weakness stays forever, he said. While today's boxers reschedule fights if they're tired, Rocky trained like every second was part of a battlefield. He didn't believe in rest days. He didn't believe in comfort. He believed in one thing: work, sweat, repetition. He lived like a monk, asleep by 9:30 every night. No exceptions. 12 weeks before each fight, his life was training, eating, sleeping. And the craziest part? He kept 80% of that routine even when he had no upcoming fight. Why? Because he believed that somewhere, someone was training to destroy him. And he wasn't going to let them catch up. Marciano wasn't elegant. He wasn't technical. He was brutally effective. He came forward like a tank. No dodging, no feints, no dancing. His strategy was simple. Wear the opponent down. destroy him, smother him until he collapsed. Every punch he threw was meant to end the fight. And the most terrifying part? While you were breaking down, he was getting stronger. In round 13, 14, 15, look at the faces of his opponents. Pure terror. Walcott dropped him with a perfect left. Marciano went down and got up like nothing happened. In the next rounds, he destroyed him. Same with Archie Moore. Dropped him in the second round. Thought he had him. Wrong. Marciano got up, furious, knocked him down 4 times. Why? Because he had trained for that. For the impossible. For the moment when your opponent can't lift his arms, and you're still throwing bombs like it's round 1. And these weren't 12-round fights like today. These were 15 rounds, 15 wars, 15 hells. And Rocky came out of round 15 with more energy than round 1. He wasn't a gifted athlete. He was a man built through suffering, repetition, and extreme discipline. He had no genetic edge. He had will. He had obsession. And that's worth more than any natural talent. When he had it all, fame, fortune, glory, he gave it all up. He retired undefeated, unbeaten, the only heavyweight champion to ever do it. He didn't do it for money. He didn't do it for fame. He did it because it was all he knew how to do. Suffer, strike, overcome, day after day, to the end. Rocky Marciano wasn't a showman. He wasn't charismatic. He didn't sell tickets with talk. He sold them with blood. He stepped into the ring, shut his mouth, and opened his fists. And what he did in that ring wasn't modern boxing. It was primitive war. Each fight was like watching a lion hunt. Not for show, for survival. And even with all his achievements, he never saw himself as a star. Even his farewell was silent. He left undefeated, and left alone, because he knew his legacy wasn't in microphones. It was in the punches, in the respect of those who know what it takes to be truly unstoppable. 49 fights, 49 wins, 43 knockouts. No one has surpassed him. No one has replicated him. And not because they don't want to, but because they can't. Today everything is recovery, mental health, longevity. And that's fine. But it doesn't erase what Marciano was. It makes him even more legendary. Because he did the impossible in the worst conditions. Because he forged his path without shortcuts. Because he had no speed, no brilliant technique. But he had something inhuman. A relationship with pain that made him invincible. And even if people say his style wouldn't work today, everyone knows that his work ethic, his dedication, his obsession, put today's champions to shame. Rocky didn't box for money. He boxed because it was his way of existing. And that's how, without seeking it, without shouting it, he became what no longer exists, the last undefeated champion. Don't miss the next video. Click now.